I am tearing up.
I just about screamed right now, and I'm not even there.
Now that's inspirational, Natalie. I feel inspired today.
Part two of this.
I could be here for another hour.
And then I was top of my class. There were only 2 of us, and the other guy was in the hospital. So here I am.
And I always go, he winds up homeless on the street. It's my fault.
Yeah, now you sound like my wife.
And you can get off.
I don't know. Call it Google. Or call it Google.
Yeah. Control. Alexa, how does he get across?
Paul, I cut you off earlier. What were you going to say?
What?
Dang it! Don't do that to me, Paul. Don't do that to me, man.
I don't know what got into my head, but I thought this thought, if I'm working year round, I might as well get paid year round.
Sweet Talk is a weekly 20-minute podcast brought to you by the Continuing Education and Workforce Training Division of Idaho State University's College of Technology. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud, and subscribe today. Now, it's time to get started with Sweet Talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sweet Talk, our weekly podcast here at Idaho State University's Continuing Education and Workforce Training. I am Paul Dickey, one of your hosts and the video instruction manager here at SWEET. And as always, along with me is my director and, superstar of the podcast, Gary Salazar. How are you doing today, Gary?
I'm doing great. I feel like a superstar. Thank you so much. And you're awesome in your introduction once again. Oversell, but then we have a mark to have to try to perform too. Thank you, Paul. It's good to be back on our podcast with us. And also joining us today, we have Angela Wilhelm. Angela is our marketing coordinator. How are you doing today, Angela?
I'm doing well. I'm very glad to see both of you back on the podcast. We've been so busy here that Paul and Gary have switched out. Shirley has co-hosted some of these in their absence. I'm very happy to be here and happy to see both of you here as well.
You do a great job, and I'm glad you're able to take that. It's so cool to have some diversity around here where people can all jump in and kind of back us all up. So thank you very much. Hey, we have a wonderful guest with us today. Paul and Angela, we have one of our own, so to speak. Hailey Wadley is one of our CPIs who works in the front office for us. So people who call in, talk with her, and she helps them. And she's going to be talking with us today about this thing at Idaho State University called the Ambassadors. So welcome, Hailey. It's nice to see you today. Glad you're joining us on today, Friday, Veterans Day. And we're looking forward to a great conversation with you. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are all you guys?
We're still here. We're still doing fine. All right, Hailey, thank you for saying yes to this. We've been wanting to have a podcast with you because of the special program that you're a part of, and we'd like to talk with you about that and what do the ambassadors do? What is this program all about? And I think you received the recognition of being the top ambassador for this semester, this year. Congratulations! You do a wonderful job in the front office. I can't see how you wouldn't be awesome out there. Congrats on that. And let's start with you. Maybe a little bit about your background. Who is Miss Hailey? What are you doing here at Idaho State University?
So my name is Hailey Wadley. I'm from Nissa, Oregon. It's a small town about an hour from Boise, so just right on the Oregon-Idaho border. Both my parents were Bengals, and my dad was actually on the 2002 Big Sky Championship team for football.
Wow.
And now my husband plays football for ISU, so I am very involved in that program as well. I came here on a campus visit, which is what ambassadors do, and we can talk about that a little bit later, but I came here on a campus visit, and I actually work with the woman who gave me my campus tour. And so it's like a whole family. We're all rounded out now. But that's why I decided to come here. I really loved my experience on my campus visit. Just other things about me. I'm a senior. I'll graduate in the spring, and I am a psychology major. So that's just other things. I am a student. I'm a full-time student here at ISU. I'm not like faculty or staff. I truly am a full-time student. So
yeah, that's a great introduction on your background. Hailey, you do so much for us, and it's easy to see why the ambassador position is attractive to you, do well, and everything you do here, I'm sure that translates on over. So thank you for all that. I love the connection you have with family here at Idaho State University, and best of luck to your husband in the football thing. That is a big part of what we do here, and I'm glad you're also part of that. Let's talk about ambassadors. What is an ambassador? I mean, you were introduced to that when you first came and took your tour, and now you are one. What do you do?
So fun fact, I wanted to be an ambassador ever since I got here, but
really,
you do have to be a sophomore standing to become an ambassador. So I couldn't my first year. But what the ambassadors do is we work a lot with prospective students. So anyone that is interested in coming to ISU, we work with them and we provide them with a campus experience. It's a little bit less than a campus tour, or a little bit more than a campus tour, I guess, because when they meet with us, so we will take them on their campus tour, we'll show them around, tell them about everything that we have to offer here at Idaho State. And then afterwards, they can speak with individual departments, they can meet with admissions to see things about scholarships, and they can meet with any department they want. So if they're interested in chemistry and art, like two very different things, they can meet with both of those departments one-on-one. And that's another important part about our campus experience, is that it is one-on-one. It is the student and whoever they want to have bring with them. They're not put in a group with strangers that are coming from anywhere. It truly is focused on the individuality of the student. And that's why I loved it. That's why I wanted to be an ambassador, because when I went, it was just me and my mom, and I was interested in the music program at that point. And so I met with music, and my ambassador was amazing. And like I said, I work with her now. So yeah, we work with all prospective students. We also have two big events throughout the year for high school students. They're called Experience ISU, which we have in the fall, and then Bengal Visit Day, and that is in the spring. And we invite all high school students from Idaho and surrounding areas to come and visit ISU and meet with any faculty they want, see what we have. So yeah, we work a lot with students that are interested, and with new students as well. We help a lot with new student orientation and help them with that transition into college.
Nice.
What a busy time.
Yeah. So Hailey, so you've been doing this for how long then?
This is my third year.
Third year. So in that 3 years, I mean, since you're giving tours, you must also yourself learn a lot about Idaho State University and what it has to offer.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part about my job. Besides meeting students, I actually love spending one-on-one time with prospective students, but I've gotten to know the faculty from so many different programs that I am not interested in. I was introduced to continuing education. I didn't know what that was, and now I work for you, so that's always fun. But yeah, that's one thing that also helps me personally, because I'm just so much more knowledgeable about Idaho State as a university. I know what programs we have, and I know faculty, and I can talk to students and say, oh yeah, I love them and I meet with them all the time. Or that is another thing that I've learned a lot about, just different programs and resources on campus, tons of them.
Yeah, that would make you a tremendous resource yourself, being hey, I know somebody I can go to, and then she'll either have an answer or she can point me to the right spot and I can go get an answer on that. I mean, how many ambassadors are there?
There are 20 this semester.
Wow.
There's 19 in Pocatello as of right now. And then one of our ambassadors is actually studying abroad in Sweden right now. So he will come back and join us back in the spring, but there's 20 of us.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, that's pretty incredible. And it's all live. He can't do this Zoom from overseas, can he?
No.
Okay.
So he's just kind of taken a hiatus from being an ambassador for one semester. He'll be back in the spring.
Really cool.
So what are the qualifications for being ambassador? Is it just a student that might have interest, or do they have like a screening process or an application process? How does that work?
Yeah, so there is an application process. Applications open in March, and requirements to apply or on the application are you have to be of sophomore standing, mostly because you need to have experience to be able to share. So you're of sophomore standing. You have to have a 3.0 GPA minimum. And then I think that's it for those requirements. But afterwards, you fill out an application. Like I said, those open in March. And you say why you came to ISU, why you love Idaho State, what would make you a good ambassador, what you want to learn through the ambassador program. And then after that, there is a series of interviews. So you'll interview with the director of admissions, because we work under the admissions program or the admissions department. And then the associate director of admissions is our boss. She works with the ambassadors, and we also interview with her. And then you'll interview, so 3 interviews, you'll interview with the current ambassadors. That one's more of like a laid back kind of Q&A type of session. You get to know each other. And then once you've passed all 3 of those interviews, you are invited to join the ambassador program. And throughout the summer, there's a lot of things that we do. You practice giving tours. We are actually really apt on ISU history. We have to take a history test.
Wow.
And that is my personal favorite part of the ambassador program, is that I've learned so much about the history of Idaho State. And that's another thing that we do, especially because we also work a lot with alumni and kind of that relation between new students and alumni. History is a big part of that. So then you do a history test and campus tour, and there are other things that we do as a team to become ambassadors. And then after that, in August, we choose who will become an ambassador after you pass all of those things, and you get to join us for the fall and the spring. So.
Wow.
That's pretty busy.
Pretty
I mean, what a great screening process. Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering. So when you say tour, I mean, are you like, is it a certain number, or can a tour be like a family to a entire group of high school students?
Yeah, so there's quite a few different ones. So our traditional campus visit, our traditional campus tour experience is 1 student and their family, or there's not like a limit on how many people you can bring. But say a student wants to bring all 30 of their cousins, they can all come. Or it's just them and their parents, or them and a sibling, or them and their husband or wife. They can do that, but we also do group tours and group visits for high school students. So just a couple weeks ago, we had Malad High School come and we gave them tours. We've done it with local Pocatello high schools. We have high schools from Washington and Utah that come do tours. So there's not really a limit on how many people can come, but we accommodate everyone.
So is it always a single ambassador that does the tour, or can sometimes you team up with another one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So high school group tours, what we'll do for those is we will split them up, or the high school will split them up. And then one ambassador will take like 10 to 12 students. So depending on what happens when it comes to group tours, we usually like to keep the group size about 10 or under, but multiple ambassadors will take those tours, and we'll just split up the students.
So you're doing a lot of coordination on the tours with the different colleges. Do you have to like, hey, I'm bringing a group through, can you guys be ready? Do you have to set all that up in advance?
Yeah, so we set all that up in advance. Our campus tour coordinator is honestly the best woman in the world. She is amazing, and she does a great job. She's really good at reaching out to departments and making sure that everyone is in the right place at the right time, and if they can meet with students. So that is all planned before. But then, like I said, we always encourage students to come on an individual campus visit as well, especially if they're in a group, because then they can just get more one-on-one time. So for example, say they're interested in education, they could meet with the College of Education one-on-one, or an advisor from there. So we always recommend that after a group tour, because those are a lot more generalized, and we like the individual aspect of it. So
right.
So go ahead. Okay, so I have a question for you, Hailey. When you say that your dad was on the 2002 football team, like that ages me, because that's when I graduated from ISU. But ambassadors have been around for a long time, even when I was in my undergraduate studies. And yesterday I had an opportunity to talk to you a little bit. Can you talk to us a little bit about the how long the ambassadors have been here, and then some recent changes, like becoming a club that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, for sure. So the ambassador program started in 1980, and it was started by a group of students that wanted to make ISU a better place. They wanted to serve ISU and have spirit and like Share Bengal Pride, and there was 30 students when they started. So that was back in 1980, and it was a club then, and it was a club, I don't know the exact year, but for a long time, and it was on a volunteer basis. So everything that I'm telling you, they volunteered for those things. And just as of recently, the director of admissions made it so the ambassador program is a legitimate organization on campus. So ambassadors are awarded with scholarship if they do everything that they're supposed to, if they meet the requirements. And so it's by a semester basis. So it's a fall and spring scholarship. It's not for the entire school year, but yes. So before it was a club, and now it is a legitimate organization on campus, and we are recognized by Idaho State University as the ISU ambassadors.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. It's nice they see that and I recognize your back too for all that work. You stay pretty busy with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we do.
Yeah. So as an ambassador, you know, you are the face of Idaho State University, sometimes the very first face that they'll have contact with on a tour. Do you feel kind of sometimes a little overwhelmed by that? Or is it just kind of, you know, you look at it and go, oh, I know what I'm doing. It's not a big deal. But you say that you want to be.
No.
Well, she says this. She wanted to become an ambassador because of the ambassador that she had when she had a tour. So I don't know. It sounds like on some level, it's a pretty big responsibility.
Yes. So I won't lie. When I first became an ambassador, it was so intimidating. I knew I had to say everything right. I had to be kind. I had to make sure that I was doing the best I could to represent the university. But then I would say there was a shift, honestly, not much longer after I started, because then at that point, I recognized and I knew these students and these parents trust me to tell them what Idaho State University is all about. And that's one big thing that I pride myself on, and ambassadors do, is integrity. We are honest and we let students know what ISU has to offer and what they can offer them individually. And so after I made that shift, it made it a lot easier. I just get to be a friendly face. My first thing that I always tell students is I'll be your first friend on campus, because they know a face. So as soon as they come, I'll be like, hey, now you have a friend. You know what I look like and you know where I work. So you can come visit me whenever you want. You have a friend. And that is so important to so many new students. That is one thing that just that personal connection. And that's what I felt. And like you said, that's why I came, because I felt a personal connection. Kind of off topic, but I think it's important. The ambassador who took me on my tour that I now work with, she's an admissions advisor. She is a psychology major. She changed her major a lot, just like me. She plays the viola in the symphony, and I was in the choir for 2 years, and I have a vocal performance minor. So we are very similar, and not every tour goes that way, and not every person feels that similarity with their tour, but I did, and it was perfect. And now I love this place because of her. So I hope I can do that to other students as well.
So have any of the students you've given tours to come back and become an ambassador?
No, but I will say, I worked in equipment at Idaho State for the athletics department. And there was a girl that I took on a tour, and I was like, you are exactly who we need for the equipment room. Like, I need you to come work here, and I need you to work with me in the equipment room. And she did. And her and I are still great friends to this day. And I took her on a tour.
Nice.
Another student that I took on a tour, she came with her parents, and she was an athlete. And so I brought my husband with me on my tour because he knew a lot more about the athletic point of view than I did.
Nice.
And she is one of our great friends to this day. And her parents treat us so well. They got us a housewarming gift when we moved into our new. So I make great relationships with the people I take on tours as well.
Oh, that's so cool. And what a great story here. I don't know if you heard the timer did go off. I mean, we've
No,
gotten through so many
no.
great questions we want to ask. Haley, before we go, there's two things that would really love to hear from you. I mean, you've given us some wonderful, wonderful little stories here, but is there any ambassador experience working with anybody that might stand out that you thought was especially delightful, fun, and meaningful to you?
There are a few. But I think my favorite experience that I had, and it's an experience that happens kind of often. I've worked in the summer as an ambassador for the past 2 years as well. And that's when you see all the students coming. That's when they're getting ready to come to school. And my favorite thing is I was up on the stage welcoming everybody to new student orientation. And I looked out in the crowd and I was like, I took you on a tour and I took you on a tour, and I took you on a tour, and that they came and that they were here. That makes my position feel so validating because they came and they wanted to be here. I won't say it's because of me, but I obviously had a hand in that. So I love that. That is my favorite thing, is when I see someone I took on a tour at school, or I see them, oh my gosh, so cool. You're here. I'm so excited.
That's great. That's great.
That is. And we're going to have to wrap this on up here. But first, I mean, you've given us such a great podcast, wonderful information about the program. You know, if somebody hears this and they go, I want to learn more, what would you tell them? How would they get in touch with the ambassador program or you? What's the best way for them to reach out?
So there are a few different ways. If you're interested in taking a tour or on campus experience, you would just go to isu.edu/visit. At that point, you can plan a tour or meet with ambassadors or anyone else that you would like to. Our phone number is 208-282-2100. And that is the Bengal Welcome Center, and that is where we work. So you can also call and ask to set up a meeting or meet with an ambassador or someone about the ambassador program.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. And for anybody who's out there, ask for Hailey. I know that might be a little unfair to the rest of them, but you know, she works here. She's an awesome lady. She's often helping people in our office here. So she does a great job for that. Thank you so much, Hailey, for what you're doing. What a great thing. Angela, Paul, you know, it's time for us to go ahead and wrap this thing up. We've had a great conversation with Hailey Wadley, who's the ambassador here at Idaho State University. And we're very grateful for her making the time. She's very, very busy. She's got great connections to the university. And I hope all who are listening really enjoyed this opportunity. Paul, Angela, anything to say before we wrap this up?
Oh, I just want to tell Hailey that she has such a bright personality that I can absolutely see why she's can make such an impression on the people that she gives tours to. She's such a great gal. We love having her work here, and congratulations on your success as an ambassador.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm just disappointed we didn't get Hailey to sing something a cappella for us.
Oh, and she's got a great voice too. You can always catch her Friday nights down at the acapella. What do you say? Acapella? Yeah, whatever that is. You know, down wherever they do that. And she just had a recent occasion, I think, Hailey, to do a national anthem.
I did. I
out
see
there.
A football game a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. She's quite talented, as you can see, very personable. Thank you again. Let's go ahead and get this thing closed. Paul, you want to do the honors?
Yes, thank you, Gary, Angie, Hailey. It's always a pleasure. Now, if you want to contact us, you can email us at cetrain@isu.edu. If you'd like to visit our website, that would be cetrain.isu.edu. And you can call us the old-fashioned way at 208-282-3372. Thank you so much, Gary. Always a pleasure, Angie. And be safe out there, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Angela, Paul,
Thank
Hailey. You all take care.